Hello everybody, this is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study, Daniel chapter 2. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, or if you have any questions, you can email me at godsohman@gmail.com. Daniel 2, starting with verse 1. In the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and he sleep brake from him. Now, if you remember the last chapter, Nebuchadnezzar came to Israel, and he took all the young men, people that were popular and attractive and intelligent, had good science, wisdom, knowledge, and he brought them over to Babylon. And the idea was to have these people learn their ways for about 3 years, and then they're going to go ahead, and after that, they're going to learn all the stuff of the Babylonians, and I guess in essence become part of the Chaldeans, part of the Babylonians, part of their group, and help them to grow and become bigger. So this is the second year of Nebuchadnezzar, and basically what's going to happen is Daniel's going to be about 18 years old. Nebuchadnezzar has this dream, and it really troubles him. He just doesn't know what to do with this troubling dream. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dream. So they came and they stood before the king. And any good leader is going to have people that he can, talk to, and they can be their counselors. And in this case, he's going to have magicians and astrologers and sorcerers, basically a bunch of wise guys that's going to tell the king what to do. And the king said unto them, I have dreamt a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. So he's telling these people, man, I had this really big dream. It's really driving me crazy. I want to know what this dream is. Then spoke the Chaldeans to the king of Syriack, O king, live forever. Tell thy servant the dream, we will show you the interpretation. So all of history, all these people would have this book, and you would say, this is what my dream was. And they go in this book and they look and see what these different things meant. And they tell you, when you dream this, this is what it means. When you dream that, this is what it means. So they're telling the king, tell us what your dream was, and we'll tell you what it says according to this book. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If you will not make known to me the dream, with the interpretation thereof, you shall be cut into pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. So the king just says, well, guys, I don't know what I dreamt, but you're going to tell me what the dream is, and you're going to tell me what the dream means, which is pretty much it's impossible to do, honestly. You want me to tell you what you dreamed? That's impossible. And the king's saying, if you don't do it, I'm going to end your life. But if you show the dream and the interpretation thereof, you shall receive gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. So the king's saying, if you can tell me what I dreamt, then I'm going to believe your interpretation. Just tell me what I dreamt and the interpretation, and I'm going to give you anything you want. And they answered again and said, let the king tell us the servants the dream. We will show the interpretation of it. So they're saying again, you got to tell us what your dream was if you want us to interpret it. And the king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, because you see the thing has gone from me. So the king's pretty much saying, you're just trying to waste time. You obviously don't have any kind of skills. You don't have any powers. You're just trying to waste time because you know that I'm not going to know what's going on, and maybe I'll forget it. Because I don't remember my dream, you need to tell me what it is. But if you will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you. For you have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the times have been changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that you can show me the interpretation thereof. He's saying, listen, I'm not gonna give up on this. If you're able to at least tell me what the dream is, you can make up the interpretation. But if you can at least tell me what the dream was, I don't know, you guys have some skills, and I'll believe you when it comes to interpretation. And the Chaldeans answered before the king, and he said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asks such a thing in any magician, astrologer, or Chaldeans. They're saying, King, understand, it is impossible for anybody to tell you what you dreamed. There's nobody in the world that's going to ask somebody to tell them what you dreamed. It just doesn't happen. No king, no lord, no ruler. Nobody's ever going to ask somebody to do this. It's an impossible task. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth. And there was no one that could show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. So they're saying, nobody can tell you this except for gods, and gods don't live here on earth, so you're out of luck, king. And for this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. So the king's like, you know what, if you're not going to tell me, everybody in Babylon that is a wise man, I'm going to destroy. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain. And they sought Daniel with his followers to be slain. Daniel's sitting here minding his own business, and he's like, "What? Hold on a second. You got a decree that you're gonna end our lives? What kind of sense does that make?" And then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. So Daniel said, "Hold on, guy. Let's have a talk about this first." And he answered, and he said to the king's captain, "Why the decree so hastily from the king?" And then he made the thing known to Daniel. So Daniel's like, "Hold on, we're over here minding our business, and you walked in here saying that you're going to end our life? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do such a thing?" And then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. So Daniel went to the king and said, "Listen, king, I'm going to tell you what your dream is, and I'm going to tell you the interpretation. Just give me a day or two, and I'll tell you everything you need to know." I don't know if he knew that the Lord was going to provide, or he was just wasting time. I don't really know. And Daniel went to his house, and he made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, which is a smart thing to do. Daniel said, "We got a problem. This is what's going on. We got to pray about this." That they would desire mercies of the God of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. So he's saying, we need to talk to God, say, "God, have mercy on us. Tell us what's going on so we don't die." And then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. So Daniel took a nap, and God gave him the dream and the interpretation while he was sleeping. And Daniel did a great thing. First thing he did was bless the God of heaven. Then Daniel answered and said, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his." He's saying, "God, thank you so much for telling me this. You're amazing. You have great wisdom and might." And then he changes the time of the seasons. He removes kings and set it up kings. He's given wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that knows understanding. He's saying, "God, you are in control. You are the one that's the boss. You make a king. You take kings away. You're the one in charge." He revealeth the depths, the secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness. The light dwelleth within it. He's saying, "God, you know everything. You are just amazing. And I thank thee, and I praise thee, O thou God of my fathers, who hast given me wisdom and might. And he has made known unto me now what we desire of thee, but thou hast not made known to us the king's matter." He's saying, "God, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. You've saved our lives. You told me this king's matter, and I thank you so much for that." Therefore, Daniel went to the king's guard, whom the king has ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. And he went and he said this unto him, "Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show you the king the interpretation." This verse blows me away. See, this is Daniel's perfect chance. He has the answers. This guy's job is to destroy all the wise men. And he could have easily said, "Hey, you know what? Go ahead and destroy all those wise men, but leave me and my 3 friends alone, and we're going to teach the king." But he doesn't do that. He says, "Don't destroy anybody, because I'm going to help the king." And then he brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and he said thus unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah that will make known unto you the kingdom of the king of the interpretation. So he rushed Daniel in there and he said, I found somebody that's going to answer all your questions. Then the king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, Art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof? I'm pretty sure the king doesn't believe it. This is an impossible task. How are you to tell me what I dreamt? It's just impossible to. Are you sure you want to do this? And Daniel answered in the presence of the king, and he said, The secret which the king has demanded cannot the wise men, the astronomers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king. Daniel's saying, King, let me tell you something. Nobody on this earth can give you what you want. But there's a God in heaven that revealeth secrets. And he makes known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and thy visions of thy head upon their head bed are these. Daniel's saying, there's nobody on earth that can tell you what you dreamt in the interpretation. But the God in heaven, he could do it. He could do it. And in fact, I'm going to show you what you dreamt. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came unto thy mind upon thy bed, what shall come to pass hereafter. And after he reveals secrets, make known to the which shall come in the past. So he's saying, Nebuchadnezzar, I'm going to tell you your dream. Not only am I going to tell you the dream, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the future. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have, more than any living, but for the sakes that thou shalt make known to the interpretation of the king, and thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. He's saying, King, I'm just a man. I'm nothing special. But God gave me this wisdom. God gave me this power so that you will know what's going on. He's basically saying, King, there's somebody bigger than you, and I'm going to show him to you. Thou, O king, sawest and beheld a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. He's saying, King, let me tell you what you dreamt about. You dreamt this giant image. And most people would say this is what the image will look like. The interpretation's a little different. I'll show you that here in a second. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, and his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, and his feet part iron and part clay. And thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and broke them into pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken into pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshingfloors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. This is what he's basically saying. You dreamt this big image, and different parts of this image is different colors. And these different colors go from gold to silver to brass to iron to clay. They drop in value, but they're going to increase in strength. And one day, this rock's going to appear out of nowhere that was not cut by human hands, and it's going to destroy this thing. Gold, silver, brass, iron, clay. It's going to destroy the whole thing. Not only is it going to destroy it, the wind's just going to blow it all away like it's meaningless, like it's pointless. And this stone that destroyed all this is going to become this great nation. It's going to become this great mountain. It's going to become this great thing. This is the dream. And we will tell you the invitation, therefore, before the king. So he told the dream. And this king was probably like, wow, that's exactly what I dreamt. This is just amazing. Now you can tell me what it means. I can't wait. Thou, O king, art the king of kings. For the God of heaven has given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. Daniel's he's not stopping to tell him about God. He's like, look, Nebuchadnezzar, you are the head of gold. You're the head of gold. You are the most amazing, powerful man on this earth. But God in heaven, he gave you this kingdom. He gave you this power, this strength, and his glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field, the fowls of the heaven, has I given to thine hand. and has made thee ruler over them all. Thou art the head of gold. He's saying, Nebuchadnezzar, you don't have to ask anybody. No matter what you want, you just do it, and it is so. You're powerful. But see, God gave you this power. He's saying, you're the head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee, and a third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And a fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things. And as an iron that breaketh all these things, shall it break into pieces and bruise. He's saying, every piece of this image is become less and less strong, or less and less valuable, but it's going to become stronger to the point that the last piece, the piece of iron, is so strong it can destroy everything else. But it's made of iron. It's not worth a whole lot. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but it shall be in it the strength of the iron, for as much as it saw the iron mixed with miry clay. It's saying it's going to have pieces of it that's really strong, and it's going to have pieces of it that's really weak, and they're going to try really hard to bond together, but it's going to be kind of hard to do. And as for the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. So they're going to have parts of them that's really strong, and parts of them that's not very strong at all. And where does thou saw of iron mixed with miry clay? They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So they're going to try to work together with this people, but it's just not going to work. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left in other people, but it shall break into pieces and consume all the kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. And say, there's all these different kingdoms that's going to happen. We're going to have you, your gold, then another king, then another king, then another king, and all of a sudden down we get to the feet. And it's going to try really hard to be a kingdom. It's going to try really hard to be something, but it's just not going to quite work. That's right. But God in heaven, the God that's the most powerful, the God that gave you your spot, He's going to be the one. He's going to consume it all, and God's going to be the victor at the end. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and it broke into pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, the gold, the great God has made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And this dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof is sure. So he's saying that, yeah, you're a great leader, but eventually you're not going to be the leader anymore, and someone else is going to take over. And then they're not going to be a leader, someone else is going to take over, and someone else is going to take over. But at the end of all this, the God of heaven, He's this rock. He's this rock that wasn't made by human hands. He's going to come down, He's going to destroy this image, all these things, and He's going to set up His kingdom. He's going to be the one that's going to be the victor. And then Daniel says something. This is what I said. This is what it is. I know for certain. Believe me. So back to this image here. Everybody pretty agrees, and it actually said that the head of gold is Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar. And eventually, Babylon's going to be taken over by the Medo-Persians. Again, no disagreement here. After the Medo-Persians, Greece comes in there. Greece takes over. Again, I agree 100%. So this is where I differ. People say the legs of iron is Rome. I say no. I say it's the Ottoman Empire. And this is why. We're talking about Babylon specifically. Now, it is true that Rome was in charge of the kingdom in Babylon. Rome is the people that took over Babylon. But they never set foot in Babylon. What they did is they had the Ottoman Empire come in and destroy Babylon. So I believe Ottoman Empire is the one they're talking about, because they're the ones that actually came in and destroyed the area to take over Babylon. If you look at this map right here, all this area in green, that's going to be the Ottoman Empire. And a little small spot on top there in red, that's Israel. So you can see this whole area is taken over by the Ottoman Empire. Rome was never set foot in here. Ottoman Empire did. So the bottom part here, they're saying that it's probably Rome or the modern nations of Europe. I say it's a Muslim alliance. The Ottoman Empire, obviously the Muslims, and the Muslim alliance, they have two big sets of people, just like two feet. They have the Sunni and the Shiites. Just like he has 2 feet, they have two big sections. And each one of those sections have 5 little sects of them. The Sunni and Shiites, they don't like each other very much, but they're going to work together for a common good to give it to everybody else. And that's why I think that the feet and the legs are going to be the Ottoman Empire and the Muslim alliance. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face, and he worshipped Daniel, and he commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. So Nebuchadnezzar saying, wow, you interpreted my dream, you told me what it was, you know what, you are everything. And he worshipped him, and he made sacrifices to him, sweet odors and oblations, which is like a tithe to him. He basically said, Daniel, you're something else. And then the king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is, that your God is the God of gods, and a Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeking thou couldst reveal the secret. He's saying, Daniel, nobody could have told me my dream, but you did it. And you're saying your God told you it. So your God is amazing. Your God is the head God. We believe your God is the Lord of lords and the King. And then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, as the chief governor over all the wise men of Babylon. You got to understand what's going on. Daniel was about 17, 18 years old, and now he's the chief ruler. He's the chief of the governors over all these guys that's been there the whole entire life. He is now in charge. And then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat at the gate of the king. So he looked after his friends. He said, listen, I appreciate it, king. I want my 3 friends to have something too. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you'd like to come speak at your church, if you have any questions, you can email me. If you have any questions, you can also comment below. And make sure if you haven't subscribed yet, you subscribe. You like the video. If you think somebody else wants to see it, please share it with them. On the bottom right of the screen is going to be the Daniel Bible study. You can click there and go back to chapter 1. Top left is going to be, I believe, Exodus Bible study. Bottom left is going to be a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to want to watch, which is usually the video before that, which will be Daniel 1. And guys, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. Have yourself a great day.